Hello and welcome to the presentation of the new features on the SV Stereoscopic Pro. So what's new in version 4.8? You've got camera mode and alignment switches, an altered near and far plane control, so the depth score value is integrated now, and I've added a floating frame fill function. And the SV Viewfinder has got a regular grid now. So let's dive right into Cinema 4D, where I will guide you through the menu. Right here you can now switch between two camera modes. Right as usual, where only one camera moves, and symmetrical, where both cameras move. This option may only be important when you're working on centered shots like this one, for example, where everything is very structured and geometrical, or when you are working on a towed-in setup. Otherwise, I would recommend the right camera mode. Right here you can choose the alignment mode of the cameras. You can choose between off-axis, parallel, or towed-in. So I'll just show you these modes in the top view. This is the symmetrical view, and on the off-axis setup, the field of view gets aligned on the screen plane. This is the standard parallel setup, and you also got a towed-in setup. Same works on the right setup. On towed-in mode, only the right camera moves. Parallel the same, and you also can choose the off-axis. The next big change is the calculation of the near and far plane. In most cases you only want to fine adjust your near plane, while the far plane only has to cover up the rest of the scene. So now the workflow is: choose where your screen plane will be. By the way, I also renamed this plane from convergence plane to screen plane, as it makes things much more clearer. Anyways, first adjust the screen plane. After that you adjust the pixel parallax of your near plane, so for example let's go to 10, and you'll notice both planes move now. To move the far plane you will have to adjust your depth score. So the total pixel parallax will always match your depth score. This way you can adjust the planes more quickly. Now when you need more stereo space, you can either move your cameras closer together or increase your depth score. The next new thing is the floating frame fill function. This function visualizes the window you are creating with your floating frames. You enable it down here, so that's just a little reference which will come in handy sometimes. And one important thing, make sure to disable the plane's fill function here and here before you start rendering. Cinema 4D somehow gets trouble with the X-ray mode on the planes, so best thing is to turn them off. This one and this one. Now you can render. I also inverted the percentage values of the floating frames. They now start on 0 and go up to 100. It just makes more sense this way. The last new feature is the regular grid on the SV Viewfinder. You can enable it down here, and you will see there's a regular grid. Let's just look through the screen. Right here you can adjust the vertical and the horizontal grid fields. This is great for layouts where something has to appear in the same spot every time, or just for orientation. But you will need the MoGraph module for this, because I've used a clone object to create those lines. Alright, everyone who already has purchased the SV Stereoscopic Pro should check their mailbox. Your free update has arrived. Have fun and good luck for good stereo.